Hello everyone, welcome to Brenda's Brush Strokes and Bisque painting live on Thursday, January 28th at 7 p.m. Central Time. And we are working on our January box, which is our welcome rock, with our two inserts, our eagle insert and our cardinal insert. And the last 2 weeks we did our rock, and we color washed our cardinal insert. And then we painted in our eagle and dry brushed him. So our rock is already at this point, so I'll set that aside. And we will start with our cardinal. And I have my foil to put my paint on. And I'm going to start with my medium blue, which is Duncan OS 457 medium blue. And I just shake it up and get a little bit, and I didn't shake it up enough, so I got a bunch of unmixed paint there. So we will mix that up with the end of our brush. And now we have a pretty good size area to do with our blue, so I will go with about a medium sized brush. Let's see, I'll go with my size 3, and I'm going to use my flat 4 bisque bristle or hog bristle brush. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of my medium blue and brush it out. So I basically have a dry brush because we will be dry brushing our background. And it's kind of a smooth background, other than the berries and the branches and the birds. So you can brush back and forth going across any of your textures. I do tend to do that C stroke or a comma stroke. It kind of blends that paint down in there quicker than the back and forth brushing. I do try to avoid my berries and my branches if I can. So Courtney's zooming in and moving things around here for you guys so you can see better. So I start in one area. And so I started over here on the right and I worked over to the left. Usually I go just the opposite, so I'm not sure why I did that tonight, but you just want to start in one area and get a nice layer. So this is dry brushing over our color wash. So Courtney wants me to move right a little bit, so we'll stage right.
Okay.
And she says we're okay now. So again, we're dry brushing over our color wash. So we have a nice layer of shading with our color with our blue. So we have a nice wintry blue look to our piece. So I'm just going to work my way all the way around. This is what we're aiming for. The nice white wintry background. And I just keep turning my piece as I work my way around, and we'll do that several times. Again, I'm just brushing back and forth or kind of making X's on my paper towel to get the majority of that paint out of that brush to have basically a dry brush, and you're just putting on a nice light thin layer of the medium blue over that color washed navy. And I just keep brushing on my paper as I grab some each time. And you just want to grab a little bit. You don't want to go in there and really load your brush up. You're just basically touching the edge of your brush and getting that paint on the very tip of your bristles. So I usually am doing the paper towel with both hands and doing X's on it, and then when I see there's basically no paint coming out, that's when I go to my piece, because I'm on camera. I kind of just do back and forth so I can hold my piece so you guys can still see it. And then I'm just kind of doing my C stroke, so it's just like the letter C, and that kind of brushes that paint right down onto that smooth surface. And we're just going to keep working our way right around. You're basically letting that deep navy next to all of your texture, your branches, your birds. That's your nice shading that the navy color wash is giving it. And so we're just going to work our way around. And I forgot my tablet today when I left the house, so we're kind of short one device here tonight. So I hope everyone had a great week. It's a little bit chilly here. I think it was 19 when I headed down at 4:30. It could be a little bit warmer for my part. But I did notice the days are getting longer. It was daylight yet at 5:06, so that's pretty good. Spring is on its way, hopefully. So we're going to just keep dry brushing with our medium blue, getting a nice light coat of that all the way around in our background. I'm not trying to get it on my birds, but I am bringing it up to the birds. And now I want to get in the little crevice here underneath the bird. So I actually have a flat brush so I can turn it on its edge to get in there. And if you get some on the birds, that's okay. We'll touch that up when we get to the bird colors. So now we have our nice first layer all the way around. So now this area has been drying while we went around the rest of it. So now we can come back and put another layer. And again, I'm just doing those nice little half circles or C strokes or a comma stroke. And just building up our medium blue good nice. So we are working on our boxes for February to ship next week. I think it's Friday might be the 5th. So we'll be shipping probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and probably a little bit on Monday. You can still purchase the subscription or the single box on Brenda's brushstrokesandbisque.com. Let's see, what else? I got both kilns fixed, I think, this week. The little one is fired and it's fine, and I'm in the process of, the big one is back together and I just need to test fire it. And then we even fired our kiln out at the classroom twice already, and I'll be firing it again tomorrow. So that's going well. Let's see, my slip mixing pump has a little problem with it, so I'm working on that this week. It's not even a year old, but it's given me grief for the second time, so hopefully we can get that worked out so I can make slip. So I'm down to my last 4 pails. So there's always something going on. It's never boring. See, yesterday I went to got Courtney air bubbles for shipping so we can figure out the shipping for our box. The stepping stones for February are a little bit bigger. So we may not be using the priority box. It may be coming in a brown box. So we're going to decide that tonight after we get done. If we're going to order a little bigger box so that we don't have any, hopefully no breakage. They're kind of right at the max height or the max width of that priority box, so we may be using a different box to ship that February box in, so don't be surprised if it comes in a brown box instead of the white box. Let's see what else is going on. We're waiting for our March molds to get here. They're supposed to be getting made this week. That will be Easter, kind of an Easter bunny, garden bunny. It's not too Eastery, but it kind of is Eastery because of the bunnies, so kind of looking forward to doing those. So let's see, do we have any questions going on tonight? Nope, not yet, the way it looks.
I just thanked Connie for painting my rock.
yeah, Connie did Courtney's homework. She got away with not having to paint the inside of that rock. But she did clean a few pieces this week, so she's learning how to clean now. Huh?
I live to paint another day.
She lived to paint another day. Which is worse, painting or cleaning?
Painting.
Painting? Mm-hmm. Oh, you'd rather clean than paint?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't like to clean either, so.
Well, yeah, so we're just dry brushing our medium blue on here and building that up to a nice even layer. So she did clean a few pieces and did a good job, so we'll probably have her in the cleaning process here shortly, or else the mold washing process. Something. So we're just working our way back around, and we'll go one more time with our medium blue. Again, I'm leaving that navy color wash next to all my edges of my branches and my birds, just to have that nice shading going on. I think that was Courtney's plan all along, Connie, to get you to paint that base of that back side of that rock.
Anybody that I could get to feel bad for.
Courtney says anybody that felt bad for her, she was going to be okay with it. Because I asked her when she was painting it, and she said, "Oh, we'll see." So I knew something was up. So she's
not a painter.
She's a keyboard warrior, but not a painter. How's that?
Accurate.
Courtney says it's accurate. I'm just gonna work my way around here.
Cutting us a medium blue size 3 flat.
Yes, medium blue size 3 flat. Yep. And you want to work around the edge too. And then we'll do the back as well. I kind of didn't do the back the first few times around, but we'll do the back as well. You want that to look good too. So we'll just keep building this up. And just keep doing those little comma or C strokes, and it just a little bit of paint at a time, and you have a nice dry brush, and just a little bit at a time and a little bit more. And I actually was gifted that sign this week, and we are looking forward to putting that up, because that's what I always have to say, just a little bit more. Even for myself, we're doing a little bit more. So, but it just brings the piece together if you do that, just that little touch more.
Mounta asked, what was the first color you painted this piece with?
So we have a question of what was the first color that we painted this piece. This piece was painted navy color wash and then wiped off the damp sponge. We made our color wash with 50% Dunkin' navy paint and 50% water, and that would be on our first video for this series, and it would be saved under the Facebook Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque. And then there's a toolbar, and it says videos. Courtney says she'll share that in the news feed, so you can always refer back to it. They're saved, so you can see how we did that. It would have been 2 weeks ago, I think. So we just painted the color wash on in about a 3x3 area, and then sponged it off on the high spots. And then tonight we started with the the medium blue Dunkin', and we're just dry brushing all the way around our piece and getting our background filled in. And then I do want to flip it over here and do the back side, because we want that to look as good as the front always. So I do need a little more medium blue. So let's see. Dawn got her box and there wasn't nothing broke. That's good. We did have, I think, 3 boxes break this month, which is the most we've had in our 1.5 years of shipping the boxes. So the stones will be have to be a little more careful with those, just because the hollowness, I think, of them. So we will probably be getting a different box to ship your February stones in, because they're as big as the current box we use, and we just want to have more padding on them so that doesn't happen. We just don't want anyone to be disappointed when you get your box and it's broke. Even, I mean, we replace it, but you still don't want to have a broke piece. That's no fun. So we're just going to dry brush our back here to make sure that looks as good as the front. You could switch to a bigger brush if you wanted, but I usually just stay with my same brush that I'm worked on for the front. Kind of do bigger strokes, so that was a little bit wet. We'll just brush it out. You don't want to put that much on at one time. You want it more of a softer look. So we'll just keep brushing right around this guy and get him dry brushed out. And I do like to do the whole thing and not just say we're going to dry brush it and then you don't actually get to see how long it takes and how it looks as it's going through those different stages. As I do know, we have a lot of new painters and painters that don't have access to shops for help, so that's why we actually do these. So that's why I do want to do the whole complete step of it and not skip and kind of fast forward to the next piece without finishing it. So we're just going to take our time and dry brush it. And so again, that's a little bit wet. I probably wouldn't want that wet, but I'm kind of rushing it because I know you guys probably get sick of looking at me dry brushing it too if you know what dry brushing is all about, but you just want to build up that color. And as you keep going around, it keeps drying. And so Mary asked, is there shipping on this or is it included in the price on the invoice? If you're getting a subscription box, the shipping is included in the price as long with insurance and tracking. That's also included. And then you can also add other bisque to your invoice, and as long as it fits in the box that we're shipping, we cover the extra shipping on your extra pieces as well. It could be paint or bisque or brushes. So it does, the $49.99 does include the shipping and the insurance and the tracking. So that's a good deal because shipping's not so cheap anymore. So we have Navon from Massachusetts and Amanda from Maine, Connie in Hawaii or in Wisconsin. Let's see. Yep, so Courtney posted that Ash was discontinued by Mako when they purchased the Duncan line. So there were, I think Courtney said about 8 colors discontinued, so it is kind of frustrating because that was one of my more favorite colors to use. I think Butterscotch was another one, Rainforest Green. I think we only used Rainforest Green maybe one time, but it was kind of a blue green. It was a nice green too. Patty's in Tulsa. And Chris is getting a box. All right. Carrie's in Michigan. And Kim's in Northern Ireland. So hopefully our shipping gets a little better so we can get back to our international shipping. It's still kind of sluggish here. We've noticed we just had a box that kind of, I think the box was moving, but it didn't get scanned, so it didn't look like it was moving. So we're still a little hesitant to ship international just because of the COVID and how the shipping isn't quite 100% yet back to normal. Hopefully it gets closer to that and then we can do that. So I'm just building up my medium blue here all the way around our back. It's kind of nice and even and not real splotchy and blotchy. Or if you wanted, you could even paint the black, the navy, or paint the back navy just so it has a nice finished look to it. So that's looking pretty good. We'll come back to our front and make sure that looks nice and even. So from here we can add our white. And let me see if I can find my white. So I have my OS 431 white. And Mary's got her stone already done and working on the eagle. That's great. So I'm going to use my same dirty medium brush, and now I'm just going to go to my white, and that'll give us a nice gradual transition of color. Then I'm just doing my X's and working that white up into those bristles a little bit, and then brushing it out until there's basically nothing showing on the paper towel. So Mary Ann says, getting my first box in February, and she's happy. Great. Well, we're happy to have you too. We'll think you'll it's going to be a fun box. We have the hummingbirds, and then we have the butterfly on the stone. So we'll go through it step by step. So if you think it's a lot of detail, don't be afraid of it. We'll be painting it step by step, just like we do with these guys. There are a lot of colors, but it's just little areas, and it just took a lot of colors because of the flowers and the birds, but it's nothing to be afraid of. We'll be painting it just like the samples. So I'm just brushing my background now with my white, just doing those same C strokes, working my way around.
Can you ask them about the dry brushes and the short handles if they're interested in that?
Okay, so Courtney wants me to ask you guys, we're looking at putting in a brush order. We've had a few requests for short-handled dry brushes. Is that something you guys would be interested in purchasing if we order them? Because we're kind of wondering if we should order a dozen, or do we need to order 4 dozen? So we'll be looking at ordering probably on Monday. See if you can maybe post right in the comments tonight that you'd be interested in buying short-handled dry brushes, or no, I would not be interested in buying short-handled.
Short-handled or regular?
Short-handled or regular, Courtney says. So let us know if you'd like short-handled or regular dry brushes, because we're going to be placing an order on Monday. So we've had requests for the short-handled ones, so we're going to be ordering some. We just don't know how many we need to order. And then they would probably get here in time to go in that February box too, right?
Yeah.
So now we have our white, and I'm just going to keep working my way around here and get the white all the way around my background.
Deb asked, do you color wash on bisque without a base coat first?
So we have a question, do you color wash on bisque without a base coat first? Yes, I do. So
You can just go right on the bisque.
yep, the color wash can go right on the bisque, and then you just sponge off the high areas, meaning like the high parts of the bird and where it left the navy deep down in the crevices, because that's just your shadowing then for your shading for your piece. So anything else?
Kathleen asked if I would, like how it would be in a package set, and they can buy them individually or in a package.
So we have a question if you could buy them individually or in a package. I think Courtney usually does like a set, and then you could order individually too, like if you wanted 3 number 5. Some people like certain sizes, and then some people like all of them, so she'll probably do both. Probably have both available, that you could order a set or you could order them separately. So we just kind of wanted to get a number, like do we just need a dozen or do we need 5 dozen? So.
And then they'd get free shipping in your bisque box too.
And then if you did get the brushes, any extra brushes or paints or supplies, they'll ship. The shipping will be free on them because they'll fit in your bisque box as long as you're a bisque box subscriber. Otherwise, you'd be able to just go to Brenda's Brushstrokes and Bisque.com. I'm sure she'll have the brushes on there. You can just purchase them that way too if you're not a subscriber.
They have shipping on them for non-box.
But those would have shipping on them. So it's kind of a big advantage to be a subscriber, because you get that little extra advantage of the free shipping on stuff that fits in your boxes. And brushes and paints, they're pretty easy to fit in the boxes usually. They don't take up a whole lot of space. Bisque, it kind of depends, like the inserts, you can get extra inserts if you want. We do have about 15 extra inserts if you're looking for inserts. Courtney does have this is the poinsettia one.
I don't have the pine cone one.
And then we have the one with the pine cones and berries on it too, but she didn't have that here. But this is the Christmas one. We do have the 2 Christmas ones now, so if you'd want to add those to your box, those are $4 each, or 6 for $20. And then we'll keep looking for more inserts too, and even we'll even be able to order them because we can get them from our slip supply company. We can get the new ones, but you could still order. If you didn't order the extra inserts last month, you can order them this month. They'll fit in, you know, they should fit in this box too because the stones are flat. They're just kind of wide. Let's see. Been pulling a few molds to get them poured, but I kind of got some poured, but I didn't get them cleaned and fired yet. Found some Easter eggs, some bunnies, the heart noggins. So I'm just working my way around my little insert here and building up that blue background to more white so it looks more like wintry. Just kind of that snowy white look to it. See, we have the crackpot bunnies. We had those last year, the boys and the girls. Can't think of, there's quite a few different Easter things. I did order the Peeps mold, but they came broke, so we don't have those yet. I'm waiting for that to get replaced. So we're gonna get some more white, get another layer of white on here. And you want to make sure you get your edge as well. And just bring it all the way back around, and you want to go onto your back. If you want, you could leave your back with the medium blue at this point. I'm just going to bring a little bit of white around and kind of just fade it out, so it still looks kind of like it goes with the front, and that's a little bit strong there. So you have to brush it out a little bit further. So we have a question, Courtney says. Oh, so what I've been pouring this week, I've been pouring mostly the rocks for the boxes, some orders for the classroom. I poured some bunnies, the Scioto bunnies. They're really nice. They're a little bit bigger. They're like 5 inches. A couple different garden worms that I thought the kids would like. What else did I pour? The crackpot bunnies I poured. I poured an order of angels for Linda. Those I sent you a picture of, Linda. What else did I pour?
The angels?
Huh?
The crackpot angels?
No, the angels with the peace, love, and faith in them for Linda.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if we have crackpot angels. I know there are some.
I don't know either.
There's crackpot snails too. I guess snails are going to be really popular this year, and we do have snails. We don't have the crackpot snails though. What else did you price? I brought other stuff to the classroom. I don't remember right offhand. Some more of that eagle mold. I poured some more of him. Poured some more of the eagle with the flag. What else did I pour? I poured quite a bit. Eggs, some Easter eggs.
All those little mushrooms.
Oh, some little mushroom houses. There was a church, a covered bridge, and a house there, maybe like 2.5, 3 inches tall, kind of like mini fairy garden stuff. What the heck? There was a bunch of stuff. Oh, some 3 of the eggs were native. They had Native American designs in them. Those were kind of cool. I haven't seen those before. Let's see, what else did we pour? There's a ton of mold sitting on the dining room floor, and I can't think of what's all sitting there.
And those little ducklings.
Oh, some little ducks, a set of 3 little ducks. Whoop, way too much, so I'm going to try to wipe that off with my paper towel here a little bit. What else was there? Ducks, eggs. Oh, some little, they were Easter eggs. One was sitting on its end and it had a bunny's butt sticking out of it, and then another one had the bunny's head sticking out of it. and then another one is laying on its side and has a bunny sleeping in it, so those are kind of cute. I used to have to get those cleaned and fired, and then Courtney can post pictures of them.
They can ship in your March or April.
They'll be able to ship in your March or April box. What else was there?
You got a little Easter basket, but I didn't want to ship that.
Courtney said there was a little Easter basket, but she was afraid the handle would break on that. I think she don't want to ship that.
It was really delicate,
It was kind of delicate, yeah.
but it was cute.
Kind of have to spend more than a day working on kilns, trying to get them back online, and then the slip pump, and then trying to order parts. And with COVID, when you call, nobody's in the office, and they don't call you back, so it's kind of a frustrating circle.
They asked if you got your other Santas.
Oh, and then did we get our other Santas? We didn't pick them up, but she's actually holding them for me. I think Connie's going to Algoma in the next 2 weeks, and our friend Connie is probably going to pick them up for us when she goes.
Did you get that weird one?
So we're going to get the German one where he's riding the horse. And then there's Christmas trees in front of him, and then there's a nautical one. What was it? There's 4 of them. Oh, what were the other 2? Oh, the Nutcracker, where he's holding a Nutcracker. What was the 4th one? And then there's actually a wicker one. I think I'm going to get that one too. He's kind of got a wicker basket with snowshoes. And then it's got pine cones and berries and stuff, so I thought that's kind of a nice one too. So I think I'm going to call and have her add that one. Those are still, I haven't even had time to get those on the shelves. They're just at the storage unit and dropped, and that's as far as they got. Oh, I poured a praying mantis. He's about, 7 inches tall. I thought the kids would like those, or for the gardens. He's about the size of the dragonfly that we talked about last week that we got, so I need to grab that one too from the classroom. And then I had an order for crackpot ornaments like you guys got as your free gift. So I poured those.
Any Mrs. Claus?
Any Mrs. Claus? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
That's something you don't see too often. So I'm just building up our white all the way around our piece here. Letting our navy and our medium blue down in the darker areas for our shading. Let me see, I did find the molds for the set of 3 plain gnomes. They're on the shelf. I have 2 sections of shelves that aren't logged yet, and they were, some bigger molds were in front of them, so I couldn't see them, but I did find those, I think Sunday when I was there. I still have to find the dragonfly and the butterfly gnomes, but they should be there too. I just have to move the bottom half of those big molds.
I want dragonfly hopes.
Let's see. Just mainly working on getting our box stones cleaned and fired, and then glazed and fired. So it's kind of a busy week just for that. So let's see. I had my first appointment at the VA to be a patient there because I'm a veteran, so I can go there for my health insurance, and that went pretty good. Except now I have to go back because my heart rate is too slow, and I have to have an ultrasound and see what that's all about. She didn't say anything, just that it's too slow. It's only in the 40s and it's supposed to be 80 to 120, so it's kind of.
We all have low heart rates. We all have low heart rates.
Yeah, but it's only supposed to be athlete type people that have that, not normal people. So my sister just busted out laughing out there, you guys, because she's had a slow heart rate all her life too, but mine I don't think has been ever that slow in the 40s. So now I got to go next Wednesday to have that ultrasound, but at least they called already yesterday and had it all scheduled. So it's a really beautiful facility. It's fairly new. I don't think it's maybe 10 years old.
No, not even.
Not even. So
it wasn't there when I was going to GB.
So. And then I stopped at Menards to get shelves for our classroom for our local ladies, and there's no shelves to buy. There's hardly anything to pick from. So I don't know if everybody's got COVID and nobody's working, or they're not shipping the stuff, or it's all selling and people are getting organized, or what. But all right, so we got our white on there, and it looks all nice and pretty.
Linda asked if you have the chocolate bunnies. I thought we got them.
We do have some chocolate bunnies. They should be on the log. I don't know. They're probably not called chocolate bunnies though.
I think they're Dunkin'.
But we do have the chocolate bunnies. I don't know if they make the matte chocolate glaze anymore though. But you probably use like the chocolate fudge stain and then seal them with a matte sealer. So I'll try to get those pulled. Those would be a good one to pull to ship because they're kind of flat. I know we have several of those.
I'll send you a message.
Alright, so we have our white on. And what are we going to do next? So next we're going to do our birds. So we want some rust. So I have my Doc Holliday rust, the H28, or you can use your Dunkin' rust if you have that. Actually found we have tons of Easter stuff compared to what we did have, so we can. It's just a matter of getting this box out and getting more of that stuff pulled and poured, so you guys we can get the pictures posted and you can see it. So let me get some new paper towel. So now I just went to my rust. And I'm going to do a size 1 brush just because I have little areas here to do. So I just have a size 1 flat. And now I want to, anytime you're dry brushing, you want to brush across your textures so you can leave that color wash or your base coat down in those crevices. So now I'm just kind of doing little gentler strokes here because I don't want to get my white all full of rust. So I'm just going to brush across any of our textures of our feathers. Even his little feet here we're going to do with the rust. And it's just going to take a little bit more because we got just a little bit more delicate, just little birds, and we don't want to get that rust all over. So when we have our bird here, and now he comes up to the white, so I'll start away from it and try to go across the texture of his little top of his head there and just make little strokes closer and closer to the background until I get close enough that there's just a little bit of the navy left for the shading. You can kind of brush back and forth, or you can do those little C strokes by starting away from it and then just brushing up to it and looking really close, how close you're getting to the background, and then just stopping right before the two meet so you have that navy left down in there, and then just work your way around the whole bird doing that. And I do like to use my rust always before any of my reds. It just helps the red go on better. It takes out that, so there's not such a tonal change from say the white to the red. We have the rust to kind of tone down the underneath color so the red shows better. And again, we'll do the same thing along the back of the bird here. Just kind of brush nice and just make little brush strokes until you get close enough to your background that you're right where you need to be. You're letting that little bit of navy between the bird and the background. And we just work our way all the way around him. Where the white is on the navy, you'll probably need a couple coats of the rust. Or you could even take your navy and brush over it and then do your rust. And there's always more than one way to do most of these processes. Everybody's kind of got their own way of how they do things. It might be painting eyes or color washing or whatever everybody's doing. Everybody's got a different way of doing it. Can't really say there's a wrong way to do it. It's just everyone has different ways, and there's nothing wrong with that. So we're just going to build up our rust on our bird here. try to go across his little feather textures. You kind of want to use a smaller brush because it's kind of a daintier little area, so you don't get your background all full of the rust. You can go back and touch up your background though, there's nothing wrong with that either. So now I'm going to turn him around and I'm going to work on the bottom side of his little feathers here. You're ignoring me? Oh my goodness. How come, Marianne? Okay, Marianne, I don't know why. How come she's ignoring us, Courtney? She's got a big hands up ignoring. She's ignoring us twice. I don't know. Okay, Marianne, let us know what's up. So, Dawn says, what color can I use besides ash on the welcome rock? So let's see, ash was your middle color. You could use, if you used, I think charcoal was the darker color. You could take your charcoal and add a few drops of white to it and just make a lighter shade of the charcoal by doing that, and that would almost, that'll kind of give you your ash color. So you can always do that, and then you can even take that color then and add white to it again, and you'll have like another shade in case you don't have the gray. So you can just take your darker color and add white to it, and that will give you a lighter shade of that same family of gray. So that's how you can make you just make yourself a lighter shade if you don't have the color that you need. And because they're in the same family and you just made them lighter, they're always it's gonna match. So we're just gonna brush back and forth here, get our little bird covered with some more rust, kind of nice and even. Oh, Courtney says she doesn't have the ignored on hers, so I don't know. I don't know if that means you don't like what we're doing or what. Or maybe it was an accident too, huh? Okay, so I'm just using my size 1 dry brush. It's a flat one, just so I can get into the little nooks and crannies of my bird here. He's got this little tuft on his head, and that way I'm not getting the rust all over. So Courtney says, oh, it was locked up for a minute, the internet maybe? It's looking okay here, so I hope it's okay for you guys. So Navon says, when dry brushing figurines, what do you recommend for the face? Are you meaning like the color? The color kind of depends upon what skin tone color you want. For like a white person, American white person, I like to use the angel flesh, which I think is now peach fuzz.
She bumped her phone.
Oh, I don't know, that popped up. I turned my phone upside down. Oh, that's okay.
Technology.
Nope, that's okay. We're okay. So, so for the faces, it really depends what color skin tone you want. But like for just the white, I use I would probably do the color wash with the brown and the darker brown, or like a medium brown, and then do my dry brushing with like the peach fuzz for the white.
Is that for the base coat?
So that would, so I would color wash it probably with the dark brown or the medium brown, and then dry brush it with the peach fuzz. But that would be just for like a white person. If you want someone with like a tan, you could go with the medium brown or the light brown. It really depends what skin color you're trying to get. The cargo pants is another flesh color, and the smoked salmon is another flesh color, but those are all fairly light-skinned flesh colors.
I think Mako has some.
Oh, for the base coat. Oh, so for the base coat, I'd probably do a color wash with like a medium brown. And so kind of like the gnomes we did, you gotta think, what did we do?
Saddle brown or something.
We used, I think, a saddle brown, more of a medium brown, or not a real, you don't need a real dark brown. It kind of depends upon what your piece, the whole piece is even. But probably something more in the brown family. Hope that helps.
What size dry brush are you using?
So I'm using a size 1 flat for our birds, just because there's so many little, the little beak and the little tuft on his head, and just to work it up to the white without getting the rust all over my white. So I do kind of like the smaller brush for that, and to get under his feathers here. Just to have more control of where that brush is going. I kind of like the size 1 for the smaller, kind of more daintier areas here. You could use a round too. So you're welcome. I hope, sounds like that helps a lot. So good. So kind of for wildlife, I like the darker, like the black or the black brown, and usually for people, I like more of the black brown is even kind of dark, but more of like the walnut isn't quite as dark. The Duncan walnut isn't quite as dark, or the medium brown. We used the Doc Holiday. Was it medium taupe, Mary, had you order? That's a nice skin color too.
No, deep beige from Doc Holiday.
Deep beige from Doc Holiday is a nice color too. For like your base of your skin, for color washing it or base coating it. So we're just letting our navy down in our crevices here of our little feathers and the wings and on his head. And now I'm actually going to go to my, let's see, where's my numbers here. So we're going to go to our barnyard red. So now I have my barnyard red in OS 503. I'm not sure that black brown comes in larger bottles. Paula Courtney's going to check, because we will be ordering.
Yeah, if it does, I can order some.
We'll be ordering shortly, so we have stuff for the boxes to ship. So I'm going to use my same brush, and I have my barnyard red. And now I'm going to do them with the barnyard red. And then we'll highlight them with the real red. So I'm just using that same brush, getting that up in the bristles, doing my X's until it's barely coming out on my paper. And now I can go right over my rust with my barnyard red.
I don't think it does.
Courtney doesn't think that the black brown comes in the larger bottles. I don't think so either. I think it's like the black and the white.
Saddle brown does.
Yeah, saddle brown has a bit of a red hue to it though.
Oh man, I've got many colors.
So we're just going to brush out our barnyard red on our guy. You can let his feet with the rust. You can let his beak with the rust. Are they out of colors?
It looks like they're low. Don't look like there's as many as there should be.
So we do have the transition, I think February here, with Mako taking over the Duncan color. So we,
Expecting some.
so there could be delays or bumps in their little journey, I'm sure, because it's a whole transition of getting things made in different factory and supplies, and so hopefully it'll go as smooth as it can. So we're just dry brushing our cardinals now with our barnyard red, just going over that rust. That rust just helps our red be more prominent right away and not need more coats of it. So I'm just brushing real light. I'm not going heavy, just building up our barnyard red over our rust. Skipping letting his feet be rust. And then getting underneath his tail here and his little wing feathers. I'm letting those feet there be rust. And then we'll come right on to the other one. And we'll just get them both dry brushed with our Barnyard Red. So the Barnyard Red is a little bit darker red than the real red. So now I did get my red on my white, but that's okay. We can go back and touch that up. Sometimes when I'm talking, the brush gets a little bit out of hand here. So let's see. I think we have to check the weather because I think I heard we were getting a storm on Saturday and Sunday, but I'm not sure, Courtney.
Oh, that's not cool.
So you might not want to be driving up Saturday if we're getting a storm. I'm not sure though.
I've seen snowflakes on Sunday.
So we're just going to get our Barnyard Red on both birds. Just take your time, go around your edges right up to where your navy starts. You want to let that navy there down in that shadow or that crevice for your shading. So now I got a bunch of red on my white, but that's okay. We can go back and touch that up. So now I have both birds covered one time with our Barnyard Red, and I'll come back and do it again because I can still see some rust through it. Well, Kathleen says yes, it's starting on Sunday. Connie says later Saturday into Sunday, 2 to 4 inches. We haven't had a whole lot of snow here this year. We had maybe 4 inches was the last one. I don't know what day that even was. Maybe Monday, huh? Sunday night, Monday? But it was real light, fluffy stuff. So that isn't so bad then. So I'm just getting another layer of our Barnyard Red on this guy. And onto the other one. And you kind of got to turn him and get him at an angle so you can get down in the areas there. Okay, so now we can get our real red, which is our OS 483. Well, Wanda's getting it Sunday through Tuesday. That sounds like a lot. Alright, so we've got our real red. My bottle's getting a little empty, so that's nice and a bright red. So now we want to highlight I made one the male and one the female, so we're going to highlight our male with the real red. I'm going to use the same brush and just work it in there and brush it out. So this is just a little bit brighter than our Barnyard Red, so we'll put that on his head. And then kind of down on his wings. Just to make him a little bit brighter. And on his tail. His back is usually a little bit darker. So we'll just let that with the Barnyard Red. And that might be really hard to see that little bit of difference, but it is a little different. And then we can go to back to our female, and we're going to do some curry on her, on our belly and on the crown there. So I have Curry OS 5571 Curry. And we'll give that a good shake. And we'll get us a little puddle of that. And I'm going to stay with my same brush and see how that looks. So it kind of has a nice orangey, burnt orange, rusty look to it. So now I'm going to dry brush her belly and just a little bit on her crown because she's not as pretty as the male one. It should be the other way around though, I think. Court says I got a question. What's the question?
Would you do one to be a female?
So Kathleen asked, would you do one to be a female? Yes, that's what we're doing. The one on this side is the on the right side is the female. It's got a little more orangey on it, and that's what we're doing now. So, and I'm using the curry to do that over the top of my red. And it's pretty much just on the belly part here. And then the little underneath here between the male's tail and kind of down where the female's feet are. So I'm just using my curry to do that. And I'm just brushing over my red. Kind of on the crown. And then on its belly. Kind of right up to the wing there. And you kind of want it nice and even and not blotchy. Like right now it's a big splotch there and it's kind of not much there, so I want to build that up so it's more even. And I'm just brushing really, really light. Kind of bringing it underneath that wing all the way back to the tail. And now I got a little bit on the male's tail, but that's okay. We can go back and touch that up. But it's basically under her wing, kind of on her little breast area here. And then up on her crown. So let's see. It's looking pretty good. Gotta get back underneath between the tail and the other one. And then from there we are going to use a little bit of orange peel. So now I have orange peel, OS483 orange peel. And it'll just take a drop of that, and I gotta shake that up some more. My lid wasn't on tight. Make sure your lids are on tight when you're shaking, or you'll have paint everywhere. So if your paint comes out and it's real watery looking like that, just a little bit of paint in it that's not shaken up enough, so this is probably sat for a while. We haven't used orange, so we're going to shake that up really good. And now we'll get us a little drop of our orange peel. So again, it's orange peel OS438. I got orange peel on my fingers and on the table. It's okay. So I'm going to use my same dirty brush and work that orange peel up in there. Just get it a little bit brighter, but not too bright. And now we're just going to highlight just a little bit with the orange peel on the just the highest area of the crown and the breast here. And a little bit less as we get underneath where the other bird is tail is kind of shading the other bird, the mama bird. A little bit more on the crown there. And a little bit more on the belly. So I'm just brushing really, really light just to have it go on real light. So that looks pretty good. I'm actually going to go back and do a little bit of the barnyard red over that again in that same brush. It's a little bit oranger than I want it, so you can just go back and just touch it up just a little bit if it's too bright for you. It was looking a little too peachy, and I think they're a little more duller looking. So I'm just going to darken it back up a little bit. And then I'm going to go back into my bright red with the real red with the brush and touch up our male. His tail has the orange on it, and that's actually going to brighten that up a little bit more even on the tail tip there with that orange underneath there. So there we have that done. So now I'm going to go back to my white And I just have my brush laying here because I know I wasn't done with it for the night. So I'm just going to work up to my bird here and cover up that red that I got on there. And now I got a spot because it was too much at once, so you don't want to get too much at once. So we'll have to work that out. And then we can we'll let that dry and we'll come back here to the tail and touch that up where I got the white, the red on the white back here. I'll have to kind of whiten this whole area up here to make that more even. So that's why I kind of left the same dirty brush that I was using with the white. If I had went with a brand new brush with the white, it would have been even whiter yet. So usually I'll let my brushes, if I know I'm not done with the color for the night, just kind of laying off to the side, so I can pick up that with that brush and go back and touch it up so the color kind of blends better. If I'd have taken a brand new brush and put white on it, it would have been like stark white. It wouldn't have any of that blue in there. And we'll get underneath his belly here, and around the belly. Okay. Just have to work my white out a little bit further down here. And then I got some red on my white again, so we got to touch that up. Sometimes with the little detail pieces you do have to do more touch up, but that's nothing wrong with that. I'll get a little bit more on the peak here. Okay, so from there we can go to our black. So I have OS 476 black. Oh, Tanya had 50 degrees. Wow, nice. Do you have snow, Tanya? So now we have our black, and I'm going to go to a really little brush. I have a size 0 here, and it's a flat. We want to do our black mask markings on our cardinals, so I'm just going to get some black. And basically I start by going over the nose, like a little band over the noses. And then from there, I kind of outline it first, so I'll take that line and go over the eyes, kind of rounded, and then take that to the corner of the eye and kind of make a peak. So it's kind of a point back there. And then that kind of comes forward into a, so from there, so it's kind of a triangle from the nose to the corner of the eye and then down under the beak, so it's kind of a triangle to that area. So I kind of line that out first, and now we'll take the triangle back to the other eye. And then I kind of fill it in with my black. So that's how I do the masks on the cardinals, and then their beaks are usually the rusty orange, so we'll just go around the beak with the black and we'll come back and touch up the beak. The black goes right over the eye and then down under the chin and kind of to that peak. So if you have like a 0 or a 1 flat, you can turn that on its edge to get that peak or that point. And then it's not a straight triangle. It's kind of a rounded back there where the eyes are. You don't want like a straight, completely straight line. Kind of have a little contour to it, kind of a little bit up over the eye, and then kind of down to the nose and across the bridge, and then kind of up over that other eye. And then kind of that peak at the bottom, or that point at the bottom, but not too pointy. So now I can see this one's got a nice arch on it, but this one eye over here doesn't, so I got to bring that up a little bit further. just kind of that arch over the nose. So that's our girl. And so now we'll do the same with our male. We'll come over the bridge of the nose, kind of over the eye, kind of an arch over the eye to a point, and then kind of a triangle down to that front. So we got a piece of fuzz in there. So we'll come over the nose into the eye, and then kind of arch it over the eye so it's a little bit rounded, and then kind of to a point behind the eye, and then kind of a little bit roundish, contoured underneath the eye, and then to that point down front, kind of like his bib or his mask. So that's how I do my cardinals. And I'm just dry brushing it. You could probably paint it in if you wanted to paint it too, but I don't care for that real stark line then when it's painted. Kind of like the soft edge of the dry brushing. But if you have this like a 0 or 1 brush, you should be able to do it. So that looks pretty good. It needs a little bit more underneath his chin here. It's kind of got a little tuft under there. So that might have been down just a little too much, but that's all right. No, two birds are the same anyway. I'll just make hers a little bit rounded here. It looks a little square. Too squarish for me. And a little bit more right at the peak there. So there's our little masked bandits. They got their little masks on. Okay, so from there we can go, and I usually just take a little brush and paint in the rust on their nose, their beak. So I'll use our rust DH28, and then I have my 5.0 liner. And then I'm just going to paint in the rust on the nose or the beak. You could dry brush it too if you wanted. And that's just rust going on their beaks. And then I'll put a little bit on his little foot down here, just kind of lightly dry brush it, even though it kind of is the liner. That works too. Same with hers over here. And then we'll get her beak. I'm just going to paint in her beak. And just like that, they look like cardinals. Just painting our rust on our beak, top and the bottom. I know cardinals are a really good craft show seller, so I don't know if anyone's a craft show person, but cardinals always sell good at the craft shows. Cardinals and chickadees. So I just want to look at the beak then and make sure it's kind of even on both sides, so like one side's not bigger than the other side or further back than the other side. And then we'll come and give him an extra little layer to fill in any little holes here or see-through areas. And then hers isn't quite far enough down on the inside, so we'll bring that a little further down. It looks higher than the other side. Kind of fatten it up on that side. And then give both of them a little bit extra coat so it's nice and covered. Touch up the little feet again, just give them another little layer. So just like that, we have cardinals tonight. So I'm going to wash that out. And let me see, we can put a white dot in each cardinal's eye. And I'll just use the tip of my brush, or you can use a ball stylus. And let me see, I need a really little one. I'm not getting a good point on this guy tonight. Let's grab a different one. I have my size 2 liner here. See if we can get a point on that. Or you could use a pin. I'm not like that, liking that either. It's got to have a nice pointer, otherwise it's gonna be too big. I'm just going to use my little ball stylus. So I have the little one here, and it's a really little. So I'm going to dip into that. You could use like a safety stick pin too, or a sewing pin if you don't have a ball stylus, to get a really tiny white dot on there. You don't want a real big white dot, and I'm putting them both at 1 o'clock in the eye. So there. We have our white dots in our eyes, so now they come to life. So there's our little cardinals. Looks like I don't like that either. So I'm going to take my rust and just rust that up a little bit. It's a little too red. You can go back and touch things up. Nothing wrong with that. So those guys are looking good. Got a question, Courtney, or what? No, what are we doing on time?
Almost 8:15.
Almost 8:15. Okay. Let's see, what should we do? I guess we will go to our branches as long as we're on these guys, and we will use our black brown. Let's see, black brown. So I have black brown OS 473. And we just need a little bit of that. And we're going to need a small brush. Probably used them all tonight here already. And we'll go with our round size 1. And I need some new paper towel. We got some. So now we will do our black brown on our branches. And you want a small brush, a 1 flat or a 1 round. And I'm going to just dry brush these big ones, but the smaller ones I'm actually just going to paint in with a liner brush. So we'll just dry brush on the big ones here.
Just tell them what you make for dessert.
Oh, Cardi said we should tell you what we had for dessert. So we took the Pillsbury Grand's flaky biscuits and opened the can and rolled them into little balls of about the size of a large marble or a regular size marble. And then you drop them into hot oil, or did you use olive oil, or would you use, Courtney? Canola oil, kind of like you're frying donuts. You don't want it too hot because then they won't cook on the inside, but just like if you're frying donuts or French fries, you kind of flip them as they brown and flip them a couple times, and then when they come out, put them on a paper towel, and then you can roll them in sugar, or you can put a glaze with powdered sugar, which is just thin frosting, powdered sugar with a little bit of milk and a little bit of butter and vanilla in it.
They're really tasty.
And then drizzle that over them, and then they're really good when they're warm, but once they get cold they're not so good, so you'd want to do it while they're warm, or else you'll have to warm them up in the microwave. They're just a quick little donut, homemade, cheapy quick little thing. Liking how that guy's little branches, bristles are going. I probably need to clean them up really good one night. So I have my 5/0 round, So now I'm just going to take that and line out all my little branches here, and I got my paint thinned a little too much. Because they're so tiny, they're actually really hard to dry brush, so I just take my brush and kind of paint them out, all the little branches. And I'm just using a 5-0 liner to do that. So I think if you go like type in Pillsbury deep fried donuts, like it would come up to tell you how to do it, but you just get the flake biscuits and roll them into balls and drop them in the grease. If you can find the ones that aren't flaky, which I couldn't, you can just put a hole in the center and fry them, but the flaky ones want to spread apart when they're being fried. But they work. You just have to roll them into little balls. So we're just going to line out our branches here. I'm going to take it right off the edge because it looks like it's coming in from the outside. So we'll do that with all our little stems. And I like to rest my painting hand on my piece and have my holding hand resting on the table so I have nice steady control. So we're just lining this all out with the black brown. And you can turn it as you need to turn it. So even though it's a dry brush piece, we still have the little bit of painting in it, just to. The little branches are just a little too small to try to dry brush and not get your background all full of the brown. So there is snow on the branches too, so you kind of got to watch where it's like there's snow there, so we're actually going to quit there and then come back up here. And then we'll kind of stop right there. So there's berries, and the berries have snow on them, so they have a little different shape to them. And then like there, the snow is on the branch, so I'm not going to go the whole way with the brown because I want the snow to cover that up. So let's see.
Talking donuts.
Oh, you guys are talking donuts? Courtney was quite surprised at how good they were.
I love donut balls.
I haven't made those in years, actually.
I don't ever remember you making them.
Probably not good for the cholesterol is my guess, though.
Or the waistline.
Or the waistline, she says. No, because you could probably eat a whole can of them yourself. But they're not good. They're not very good when they're cold, I will tell you that much. They're better when they're fresh out of the pan. And we just rolled some in sugar, but you could probably do like a cinnamon sugar would be good too.
I think powdered sugar too.
And Courtney says powdered sugar too. Yeah, probably powdered sugar too. They kind of hit the spot when you're hungry for something sweet. So I'm actually going to do my bigger branch here too. I'll just take it right down to where the navy, where it meets the navy. I'll get the little thorn here. And then we have to go around the snow here. And we'll put our glittered snow on there next time.
Oh, Kathleen's got some tips.
Oh, Courtney says Kathleen's got tips. What are the tips? I'm painting. I can't read
She
in.
said use the back of a spoon and put the hole in the side and you can fill it with jelly.
Oh, that sounds good.
You get the raspberry from the Amish shop.
Oh yeah, Courtney says we get the raspberry from the Amish shop. That's really good. The raspberry filling in a bag. I was going to make Danish crinkle. I got the yeast to do it, but I haven't had the time to do it. Because it has to go in the refrigerator for 2 hours, and then you roll it out and put apple filling in it and bake it. And put icing and nuts on it. Courtney wouldn't like the nuts on it, but
No.
I could do half of it without nuts. Actually, the raspberry filling probably would be good on there too.
Good on everything.
Good on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're just painting out our little branches here, getting our thorns. Just taking it right to where it meets the background, leaving that navy between the background and the branch. So if you guys need anything added to your boxes before the 1st, just send us a message and Courtney will get your invoices updated to reflect what you want. What else?
I probably even go out the day before because I have a doctor's appointment on the 1st.
She's gonna be starting. She'll send out the invoice. Some of the invoices will come out early because she has an appointment on the 1st, so she won't be able to. She won't have all day the 1st to do it, so she'll invoice early. But you still have till the 4th at midnight to pay, so don't worry about that. But you may see your invoices earlier.
And I can edit them if you want to add or I forget to put something.
And if you forget to let us know, she says she can edit them, but it's if you can let us know ahead of time, that of course would be better. Because then she can do it when she's invoicing, which that must be Sunday or.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that got here quick.
Okay.
Just like that, we got another box to ship. So we're just painting out our little branch here. It's kind of like a berries, like, because it's got the thorns on it. I'm just going to finish this up. Bring it right up to his feet. And there's a little bit between the foot and the feather, so we're just going to get a little bit in there. And then we got our bottom ones here yet. We're just lining it out rather than dry brushing them, just because they're so little. And I'm just using a 5-0 liner, just a nice little liner. So there, we got them brushed out. I think we'll bring this down just a little bit further so it looks like the snow is kind of built up on there. There. So that's our branches. So let's wash that out. So I think we're at a good stopping point with these guys. Our berries, we will, I think I painted those two with the rust and then the red, and then we put our snow on them. So they're at a good stopping point tonight. We can put those aside.
Which brush are you using?
I was using a 5-0 liner for that. And then I can show you guys the box. This is our February box that we're shipping, our 2 stepping stones. They're not really made to step on, but they're more for decoration. But we have the welcome butterfly and then the hummingbirds. So you can do a one-time purchase, or you can subscribe to get on the list for automatically getting the boxes. Give us a thumbs up or a hearts if you like them, and you can go to brendasbrushstrokesandbisque.com to purchase the one-time box or the subscription. If you have any questions, let us know. Courtney's going to zoom out so you guys can see them better. So I hope you enjoyed painting the cardinals tonight. Next week we will finish them and move on to our eagle, because we have our rock done already, so that went pretty good, and we should be able to get to the eagle, and then your this box will be shipping, and then we'll be able to work on this box next. You can see there's a lot of colors, but don't be afraid of it. It's just, we'll do it step by step, just like we are with the cardinals and the eagle. And Wanda says, is there a paint list for this? There is. It's a pretty big one.
I'll post it in the Bisbox group. I don't think I have yet.
Cordy says she'll post it in the Bisbox
I think it's just on our
group.
page.
She does have the paint list, but I have to get her the instructions yet for making up the flyer, so I'll have to do that by Saturday. But this is your next box. I hope you guys enjoyed your cardinal box and rocks so far. So other than that, I guess have a great week.
At the classroom on Saturday.
We're at the classroom on Saturday.
10 to 4.
Cordy will post the list for these stones in the Bisbox group. We'll be at the classroom 10 to 4. So otherwise, have a great week, you guys. Stay warm and stay healthy. Bye.